Coming from the Caveman Studios in Buffalo, New York. Welcome to Caveman Corner with your host, Jeff.
Captain Caveman!
Thanks.
Click subscribe and the bell. Do it now!
I'm here with two very special guests. I got Rodney Hohenstein,
yes.
Hohenstein, I was right the first time. God damn it. And Aaron Buckley, two guys from Empire MMA strength and conditioning coach, and one of the fighters on this new K4 card that we're going to be having February 1st. Time is coming quick. Remember, you can still get your tickets. Put in Team Empire so you get credit for the tickets. And we'll jump right into this interview. How are you feeling about this fight, Aaron?
I feel very good. I feel, like it was weird starting camp and when the holidays were around, but I think that was a nice little, mental break. But I feel very excited. I feel very good. I'm excited to fight. I've watched all the K4 fights and all my buddies, and it's, motivating. I'm excited. I feel really good.
Is it awesome, jumping in now that you see everybody? It's kind of like Team Empire and K4 has got, a great synergy. You guys have been on a lot of shows, so Dennis really sells everything. Dennis is always all around. He's always talking on the pay-per-views and everything. So I know that Team Empire is huge for K4, and hopefully K4 is huge for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, our coaches always joke about we're gonna have to find new shows, but if it weren't for K4, we literally wouldn't be able to fight at all, because you guys can match 8, 9, 10 of us in one card, and that I mean, not that our guys wouldn't like to fight more, but getting 9 guys out of the way, not out of the way, but 9 guys quality fights at once is pretty rare and good. So I feel like that's why it's fair, or Empire and K4 have a good relationship back and forth.
Yeah, I got you. You guys come in. Every one of you guys is an excellent fighter. They all have skills. They're very skill sets, so everyone's a little bit different too. Most gyms, they're like cookie cutter copies of their coaches. They have a certain style, and all their fighters are the same. The Empire guys, everyone fights a little bit different. Nick Walker's different. Everybody has their own little individual style. The only one thing that they all have in common is their conditioning, and that's why we love Rodney, because he's the guru of conditioning for Team Empire. What do you have that you have so many different body styles, so many different personalities, and you're able to get them all in shape to all win the third round? That's a Team Empire thing. We're going to win the third round.
Honestly, I'd love to hear Aaron answer this question, because he's actually in the middle of it, right? So he's feeling it, and he's amongst the other guys in camp, and he can actually probably explain what it feels like more from that side of it.
Yeah, so I feel I've never been at another martial arts gym, so I don't know protocol for what a typical gym's strength and conditioning would be like. But I'd imagine ours is, and this isn't me kissing Rodney's ass, maybe it might be, but I would imagine ours is to a level of a professional level of if our guys were to go UFC, I'm not sure a lot of the guys would move out of state as long as the weight classes we had the guys. And it makes you go when you do his classes and when you're in fight camp, every single time you're in there, whether it be conditioning, can't breathe, or lifting, or whatever it may be, there's a moment where you want to quit, and there's a moment where you're like, why am I doing this shit? And then Rodney will chime in or say something, or maybe not say anything, but there's a moment where you're like, hell yeah, this is why I'm doing it. This is why I'm great. And that's when the real work. Everyone can get tired. Everyone can go till they puke. Everyone can go, but it's what you do when you're at that moment. How strong can you be when you got nothing? And I think that's when Rodney's able to get through to our heads as fighters is you got to do what you got to do, and that's it. And that's what it is. And no matter how hard it is, how you move when you're struggling, and how you're doing when you're at your worst, that's really how you are. And I think that's why we all do so well, because he makes us feel that way when we train, is I don't know how good I'm going to be. And then you look and you're like, holy shit, I'm good. So I just feel like the level, the reason we come with that level of conditioning is because we hold each other. It's not just Rodney putting us through the workouts. You'll see me, and I'll look at Nick Walker, and Nick Walker's looking at me. He's like, let's fucking go, Buckley. This is what we do. You know what I mean? And I'll look at Isaiah, and I'll be like, come on, Isaiah. And Isaiah will look at me and be like, yeah. You know what I mean? And everyone's different. There's certain things, like you said, everyone's Like I could do kettlebell swings and I can jump rope for days. You know what I mean? You put me on the bike, it's a little different. So it's we work with each other and getting to know one another and where we need to push each other and hold each other accountable is really where we make, the difference and where I feel like we make that next step. You know, I don't want to say against other gyms, but other guys have great cardio, but I would say consistently as a whole, top to bottom, our guys are, pretty conditioned.
I love that answer. That's a really good answer. And I had Rodney on before, and we talked about like his philosophy on different fighters, how he pushes people different. But that's a really great answer from a fighter. I would say that you guys have something that no other gym has. You like Rodney's like a professional strength and conditioning coach, pretty much. Generally, guys train at a gym and they have their own coach at strength and conditioning. But Rodney's like a whole team, like personal coach. And I know you guys do extra on the side besides for just what you do as a team, but there's not a lot of teams in the area or even in UFC with strength and conditioning coaches like working in tune with the coaches like you guys are, unless it's like a specific head coach for one fighter. Like you go to like a big camp like American Top Team or Jackson Wink, and the coach is not working with the individual fighters and the trainers. They're just there to coach their coaching, and then that's it. So like you have something really special going on there at Empire.
Right. Yeah.
I can honestly say, like, from like doing it for 12 years, or like there was no book, there was nothing to like. I had to like figure it out. Like strength and conditioning, I think in like mixed martial arts, especially, has developed so much in the last 10 years, right? What it was 10 years ago, especially in New York State, it was illegal. It was just such a more smaller niche, and like what it's kind of developed, and you started to see the Phil DeRues and all these different kind of lines of strength and conditioning and what the different fighters are doing. And it's like, okay, now we're starting to get some content, some conversation of like, it's such a different sport of strength and conditioning than like football. Like football, right? Like it's a play. It's 35, 40, it's 30 seconds, right? So we have to be ready for that much. We're talking about 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes of nonstop. It doesn't matter, right? Like how tired you are. If you can't keep your hands up, you're going to get hit in the face, right? And like how much discipline do you have? And like I have to strip them down of all that. I have to get them so tired so they can like comprehend that like this is the state they have to be able to work in. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. They can't
like, it's easy to do it right away. It's easy to go get your 20, 30-minute workout in and like, but like, have you really dogged it and burned it for 30 minutes and then tried to get rounds in or tried to do other things after and see how you perform and then take notes, right? Where we're seeing like, okay, where was I fucking up? Where was I going wrong? And how can I fix that? And if you're having good coaching and you're having good teammates that are preserving you, like if your sparring partners are noticing shit like that, like this is what we do. We talk about it so we can kind of all elevate.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm conditioning an older guy right now, and we're running into stuff where when he gets tired, he's fatiguing, he's not doing it correct. His hands are in the right spot, and his movement gets a little bit worse. His nose start coming over his toes, like all the things you don't want when you're sparring. And as he's getting in better shape, it's going away, but he's still doing it when he's tired. So it's trying to get him to do it when he's fatigued. So like you guys are doing an awesome job. Like you guys work all that out in camp, and like I'm trying to do that in my gym as well. I want to be the next Rodney. I want to be cool like you guys.
Can I say, I think one thing that I even see on Instagram and shit a lot too that we don't do at Empire that I feel like does help us is you see a lot of guys like even in the UFC, they're on the bike, they're sprinting on the bike for a minute and a half and they're just getting up and it's just like let's go hit the pads, you know what I mean? Go 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 and like sure, like that's good for your shoulders, but in a fight, you're not sprinting on a bike, getting off, sprinting on the pads. And so it's more, sometimes our workouts are a little bit more sporadic. It's soft jump, go, go, go. Because you don't know. It might be jab, jab, cross, cross, upper, cross. You don't know. So it's more like out of the blue. And it's not like, okay, get tired, now put your hands up and circle with your hands up. You know what I mean? Like, not to spoil a workout, but we did some sort of workout with a jump rope. And at the end of every round, you had to shadow box. And it's kind of like up to you, but we're mentally conditioned enough too that like I'm not just sitting there with my hands up. You know what I mean? I'm tired, but I have to work my shit. I know what I have to work. And it's not just like get exhausted and hit pads, get exhausted and throw as many kicks as possible. It's kind of strategically getting exhausted. And Rodney's like, you can see it in his little like wizard brain breaking you down. He's like, okay, I see Aaron over there struggling. What are we going to make him? Okay, left kicks because I see him bouncing a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of shit that is, it's not just breakdown to break down. It's break down with a purpose and then rebuild to become stronger, not just rebuild to be a dog.
Right, for sure. I like that a lot. And it's so good that he knows all you guys too. Like we had him on last time and he was talking about individual fighters, like didn't have any notes or anything, just off the top of his head. So this is like stuff he's really, really thinking about. And like that says a lot about a coach being able to like just talk about people's like what he's working on with them, even for that day, like later on. And like it's not something like, oh, it's like through a lot of thought and a lot of knowing the fighters. And man, that's great to see. You guys have like a strong personal relationship. What's it like going into a fight having this guy is like your personal trainer, man? That's pretty fucking awesome.
It's really, it's like one of the coolest things because it's like, I would say he's honestly not even just like he's like one of my best friends and like someone I look up to, like a role model, and you know what I mean, all that stuff. But it's cool because he knows where I really struggle, and like I'll tell you right now, Kate, man, the only way I possibly lose this fight is if I decide in my head I want to lose that fight that day. Besides that, there's nothing else physically, technically, discipline wise in the cage. I feel better than I've ever felt. But Rodney knows how to really dig into me and get me. And that's where I feel like I benefit more. I have a cheat code. I have literally a cheat code. Rodney can look at me and be like, this guy needs this. And no guys have that. You know what I mean? Like guys have therapists and they can like talk about like this, but I could walk in and but like last week I was like, I had a long day at work. I was fucking dying. I was struggling. I walked in and Rodney looked at me and he goes, "Hey, that weight vest is for you today." And I was just like, "Yo, fuck you, dude." Like, you know what I mean? But afterwards, that's what I needed that day in that moment. And you can't get that with just like you said, like a typical cookie cutter coach. Like that's the benefit of, building a relationship with good people. And I'm lucky to have that. But I also like the pressure because he'll remind me, he's like, this is a lot for me too, Aaron. I put a lot into you. I'm like, I know, I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I mean, and not just to bring it back, like Aaron was also like one of the very first like really skilled athletes I got. Like it allowed me to almost like extend my creative brain because I'm like, wow, he could do some shit. Like his jumping ability, his athleticism is through the roof. And like as a coach, it's like, like he can get by on basic shit, but like if we need to enhance his athleticism, he needs to get pushed in those areas. So I had to learn how to do that. And like he had this uncanny faith in me. I think more faith than I had in myself at that point. Like he was just like, I want to do privates with you. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, but like he was also like a brand new guy at the gym too. He was like, I think I kind of want to fight, at that point. And we just kind of like set those goals. And it was like the first goal was like, I remember like, wasn't it the first day we did a private, you got your yellow belt?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like right before that day he got his yellow belt, it was our session. And he was like, man, I don't know what to do. He was talking about all these things and like what he could do. And I was like, just, all the numbers, all the things we do. Like, and he's like, yeah. And then I was like, just trust, man. And then like, boom, an hour later, he was getting it. And it was just like that's typically how this whole thing started. And it's been a fun ride so far. We've been doing it about 2 years now, maybe even longer. I don't know, but having a skilled like athlete that allows you to enhance like areas you don't get a chance to as a coach, right? You just don't come around these like skilled people sometimes. And so it's really fun. It's like, it's almost like, what can I make him do? What can I figure out? And it's like, boom, boom, he figured it out. And then I think, okay, I'll get him next time. And then boom, 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 he figures it out. And sometimes I catch him.
I like it. Are you going to be in his corner for this fight?
Probably not. No, like I get him to the weight and then like, I feel like exhale, my job's done. Sometimes I'll go in the back. I've done it before, but like, I think it's really like, that's where the strategy comes in. Like my stuff is all beforehand, right? Like the strength and condition, if their strength and conditioning isn't good by the time they're back there, like there's nothing I can do. I think like my big role, I feel very strongly getting to those weights, right? Making sure everybody is hitting that safely and like kind of like also like it's the mental like grind of camp, right? These guys grind themselves down so bad. And if they don't have someone like, hey, are you okay? Right? Like, they're going to work. They're getting out of work, training all night, like trying to get food, eat the right things, go to sleep, get up, go to work. And like camp is a really grueling thing, especially at our gym. We have like a strict guideline. This is what you must do to fight for us. So, like I love to be that kind of like mother role at the gym. Like, are you okay? And checking in and making sure that like, there's no one that doesn't go through those dog days when we're doing this, and those days that are like, I don't think I want to go today, and we got like as a coach, like I just want to be there, like, yeah, you can go today, I don't know.
Yeah, I love that. Like you don't look like a mother hen role at all, but watching your content on social media, you definitely see that aspect of you come out. You're always looking after the guys. You're always posting guys working out, and it's very inspirational stuff. You got a comment. Rodney's always trying to elevate. He's never content. Each workout, each camp, brings out the potential in all of us we didn't know we had. That's a pretty cool comment. Guys, remember, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, please make sure that you like and subscribe. It helps us grow. I see a lot of you guys are watching there, so please like and subscribe on YouTube. If you're doing it, if you're one of these guys fans, please do. Like, we're always trying to pump Empire stuff anyways. Garrett Hughes, Mother Rodney. Hey, Garrett, I want to try and get you on this podcast too, dude. You keep fighting. You keep fighting for K4. You keep ducking this podcast, dog. I gotta get you on this.
Can I just say? Can I just say, I mean, everyone at the gym, like we're all best friends, dude. Garrett is literally my favorite human being in the entire world. Like you guys know Garrett, but you don't know Garrett. Like Garrett is the sweetest human being. Like I would let him baptize my 1-year-old son. Like Garrett is the sweetest, but on the same token, he beats the piss out of people and he is nasty. But one of my favorite human beings ever. Sorry, I had to shout him out there.
Dude, I love this guy.
Watching him too, because like chunks, like it just all of a sudden started coming in chunks with him, and it was just like, holy cow! Like the evolution was it was real fast out of nowhere, real quick. It was cool. It was still, he's still going.
He's been a savage in K4. I always write nice things about him, and I've been trying to get him on this podcast forever. So hopefully you guys can help me get him on here. He's getting himself into contender status and never comes on the podcast. I don't know what's going on. Remember, when you find Buffalo, you got to come on this podcast to get the bonuses too. So that's how it works, dog.
So how are you feeling about like coming to Rochester and doing this? I'm
pumped, man. I'm super pumped to come to Rochester. So when Art in Combat and K4 gets together, I'm really Keith's friend. So like I spend my own money to give away the bonuses. I don't really do I don't get paid to do it. So like it's just something I give back to the fighters. So I do it on Keith shows to really help them grow. So when we do these mixed shows, I don't do I don't split the money, but I think it's awesome that these guys branched out to Rochester. FCP is a great promotion, and I like Mahmoud and the bids, and they do a really good job with the fights. But K4 pays me, so I like them a little bit better. And
yeah.
So I'm pumped that they're going to Rochester. I'm pumped that they're coming to Buffalo too, man. I think competition is great for everybody. It's going to help the promotions grow as long as they don't put shows back to back. I think it's great that they come to Buffalo. We go to Rochester. It's more opportunity for all the fighters. You can fight for who you want. More opportunities mean more fights. That means more opportunities for all the guys to fight and get sponsorships and sell gear. And I think we need more fights. And you guys have huge gyms in Rochester. It's a great fight community, a great place to fight. And Riverworks is awesome. It's a home to K4, but going to Rochester is great too. There's so many good gyms out there. We're gonna check out I'm gonna check out Nick Walker's restaurant, and I'm trying to bring a bunch of people out there so we can all go eat before the fights, and we can help support a good guy and get some money in Nick Walker's family too. So guys, come out before K4. We're gonna have a Cavemans Corner to the party at the Walker's place. So come on out.
Also, quick shout out to the reason a lot of the fighters can make it work out here with kids, the ones that watch the babies when we need to sleep. Had to give the girlfriend a shout out quick. Sorry for
Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome, man. That's really good. It takes a people don't understand like how hard it is to be a fighter's girlfriend or a fighter's wife. There's so many demands on your time to train and to get it in. For a girlfriend that's not even married to you to stick around and give you that support, dude, that's something that's really awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I can do it. It's why. I mean, we have a 1-year-old baby here, and she's, she helps. She wakes up with him, so I can get my, 6 hours of sleep, whatever it may be. He still ain't sleep through the night, but yeah, it's the reason we can do it. The support system.
Yeah, that's so awesome, man. I love to see that. Everyone should shout out their girls more often because they put up with a lot of shit for us to be able to do what we do, man.
Very true. Very true.
So, what do you know about your guy coming into the fight?
I know he's tall. I know he's 6'2" or 6'3". He's 3-0, and he fights out of the same gym as Nick's opponent, Elizondo, and then Isaiah's opponent, I think Batista. I've watched 2 of his fights online. I mean, a lot of I don't want to say shorter. I'm not shorter, but a lot of guys don't necessarily like taller guys matchup. I love fighting taller guys. I mean, it's not easy. You know what I mean? Like going with Nick Walker is not easy. Going with Garrett's not easy. But I like fighting taller. I like going up. I like seeing, being able to see up. There's a couple things I saw that he likes to do that are good that I have to be aware of, but like it's the looks I get every single Thursday. It's, you know what I mean? Like I said, I would have to decide to wake up in my brain and be undisciplined that day to not be prepared for the things he's good at. I mean, he's good. He's 3-0. You don't win 3 and not lose any, not being good. I just personally think I'm better, and not by any other reason than just hard work, dedication, and putting it in. But I love the matchup. As soon as he sent it, I was like, okay, tall, love it, like it. But he seems good. He stays long. He's good at keeping his distance. He's got a good high right kick, flips that left kick up. And then I did notice in all 2. I mean, one of his fights isn't online. In both his fights, he gassed out in the 3rd round. In the 3rd round, he got caught with an overhand and almost got put out. He actually got up on the 7th of the 8th count, and he won 2 rounds to 1. That last round was split. And I mean, as we know, Empire cardio. You know what I mean? If I sense a little bit, of him breathing, I might just drag it out to the 3rd round just to show myself too. Like let's play. You know what I mean? Because I know for a fact I can fight for 6 minutes very good, and I know that I can fight hard for 6 minutes very good. I'm prepared for that. So if I notice he's getting a little bit tired, I feel like I could be a shark smelling some blood in the water and kind of just play with it. But that first round in every amateur fight they're fun. First round we're
It
gonna
can
have
be
to
crazy.
could be absolutely. I mean, we're fighting no shin guards, we're fighting no headgear, we're fighting just gloves. It could be, we're fist fighting. But at the end of the day, like if you stay disciplined, you mentally prepare for everything that could possibly happen, and at the end of the day, I just see myself getting my hand raised, and I've seen it many different ways of them saying how I get my hand raised, but I really like the matchup a lot.
How do you think you're going to do in a clinch? Being a shorter fighter going into the clinch with him, how's your clinch game going to be against a taller guy like that? I'm sure you're in there with Nick Walker, so I'm sure you felt it. So
Yeah.
you don't have to tell me anything you want to, because obviously your opponent may watch this. But
No,
how do
I
you
mean,
feel on that?
I'm not. There's nothing. I mean, if he pulls out because I say I'm good in the clinch, that would be crazy, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? I like how I am in the clinch. I feel strong. I'm a yellow belt in judo, so I have a little bit of good with the feet and the trips and stuff like that. And Rodney and I have really been working on strength and everything like that, not just conditioning. So I feel like I like the clinch a lot. I like it a lot.
I think if a shorter man has a good clinch, it makes it very difficult for the tall guy, because you see a lot of the taller fighters, they rely on that range. Then you get into the clinching range, and they have like a good first step into into their sweep series or into a knee, or
Yep.
a good first turn. So I think that's a very difficult thing for a shorter fighter to deal with, because you're generally reaching up to make the clinch and you're a little bit off balance. So I was just interested to see how you think that initial clinch up is going to go for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that too. And it's also like I'm pretty bottom heavy. I have big legs. Like, and he's 6'2", making 145. It's not, I'm not talking crap at all. He's skinny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's tall, long. It's like when Nick Walker makes 155. No, like seriously, like they hold muscle, they hold,
Yeah.
real power, but they're a little bit more slender. I'm 5'9", packing 145 pounds into 5'9". So like, I like, I would rather be a little muscle hamster. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of how I am in this fight, is more of kind of like a little muscle hamster, power hamster, kind of buckled down, staying tight. And you know what I mean? I also like, I like if I can get, I haven't put those K4, are they 10s or 12s? 10s?
I believe they're 10s. I'm not sure.
10s, yeah. I like, as long as I can get my fingers open and get that tie clinch, I feel like it's going to be nice, especially taller guys, bringing them down like that. You know
Yeah,
what
they
I
look
mean?
small. They're pretty lobstery, so I think they're 10s. They might possibly be 12s that are just
Either way, as
10s.
long as I can get them hands, and I'm glad. It's my first Muay Thai fight. I did K1 my other 3 fights, and I just, after my last fight, I fell in love with the clinch. I fell in love with like being able to break up my striking with like little pauses, or like, if I say I miss a cross, I can grab in, quick knee, see, step out, push out, disengage. The whole pace switches, everything changes, and I like that aspect of it. K1's very fast paced, and I had a tendency of kind of like getting caught up with that pace and trying to do whatever, like, okay, separate, blah 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 blah, let's go, and I like being able to switch it up and kind of make it my pace, because that's what it is.
I'm glad you said all that. I asked about the clinch because I seen that you only had kickboxing fights, so I didn't know how much experience you had in the clinch, but I didn't want to say that because I don't want
No,
to give
you're
away stuff. Yeah, so
totally
like
okay. No, totally.
that's a very cool answer.
Yeah, totally open, totally open. A lot of the guys at the gym prefer K1, and I mean, not prefer K1. It's just they'll take what they can get on. You know how it is.
Yeah, I
But
know how it
the
is.
second my coach was like, "Hey, Aaron, you're down for Muay Thai?" Absolutely. So it was, biggest smile in my face in a while when I got the news that it was a Muay Thai fight.
I can't wait till you get the elbow pads on too, man. That's my favorite Muay Thai.
Yeah, when is that?
I don't know. I think after 2 amateur fights, you can do elbows. So
Okay.
you both have to agree to it though. So I don't know. Maybe they don't want to fight with elbows. I don't know. Or maybe they don't want you to fight elbows. Maybe you have to have 2 Muay Thai fights. I don't
Oh, okay.
exactly know what the rules are. I'm going to ask Tom Kilkenny next time we're in there what the actual rules are to fight with elbows.
Okay.
Because I heard it was you just need 2 fights, but you might need 2 Thai fights. So I'm not sure.
That would make sense. Either way,
Yeah.
I'm ready, and I think going forward, it's going to be Muay Thai fights. Obviously, if I can't get anything, you take what you can get. But I think after my performance, I think I'm going to stick with Muay Thai.
Do you guys get a lot of dropouts? I see your coach posting all the time, like, man, another guy dropped. What do you guys? Go ahead.
I would say it's more certain fighters of ours that get dropouts, but they overall happen. But Cam Johnson, that
Yeah.
dude, you couldn't pay someone to fight him right now.
Yeah.
Isaac
Isn't it?
Eddings, you know what I mean? You couldn't, like it's a lot of guys. I don't want to sit here and say like guys are scared to fight us, because the guys do get hurt. We're fighting. You know what I mean? People get hurt. People, it's just weird with how many people have done it to Cam and Isaac and
Malik.
Yeah.
And I get it though. I mean, I don't get it, because like a lot of our guys, the mentality is, I want to fight the best guys. You know what I mean? You give me a guy that's 3-0, 6'2", yeah, give me that. I want that. That's how I'm gonna prove I'm the best fighter. But we think a lot of people don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
A lot of people don't want to lose, man. It's just
yeah,
more
and
about winning in social media than it is like real fighting.
right, and
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 that's
I
all this
also
is.
feel like it kind of
Amateur, right?
sometimes it's bad on. I mean, like our coaches, like they don't really give you like my coach Chris didn't give me like hey, pick a guy out of these guys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I got a name, David Lee, 3-0 Muay Thai. Yes or no? You know what I mean? There's no. You know what I mean? Like, there's no
Yeah.
like, do you want the 0-2 guy, Aaron? Like, he knows what we're capable of, and he's not putting a name in front of you. And I feel like a lot of coaches at other gyms might get bad reps or might get bad looks because fighters don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, fighters don't want to. At the end of the day, the fighters got to do it. The coach can't make you do nothing.
Yeah.
So
Trust me, I understand that part of it. I try and make
What
guys
was
do it.
GSP's like amateur record? You know what I
Who
mean?
knows?
You
Right.
Where's your amateur record?
Right. And I also feel like a lot of our guys do plan to go pro, so they are aware of that. Like, yo, when I go pro, bro, like it doesn't matter as much. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I get it. It's scary to lose. I didn't want to lose, and then I lost my last fight, and I realized like, oh, I needed that to realize how much more I can win. You know what I mean? Like, you need sometimes just to you need that sometimes before you get to the stage maybe that you're ready to be at, and then you lose there, and that's not the time to lose. You know what I mean?
For some people too, it is their stage. Like they have no further plans. Like they're gonna be 3-0 as amateur, 4-0 as amateur, gonna be retire on defeat. Some people that is their end game, and they don't want
That's
to
cool
take
though
those risks.
too. You know.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they just fight those fights. I mean, everyone's got their own separate goal, and I think that's why it happens a lot. And you get dropouts because guys like, yeah, I'll fight that guy, I'm good. And then someone tells them like, that guy's pretty good, you should watch some tapes. And they're like, oh shit, that guy is good. And then they drop. I've seen that happen quite a bit. Like when I was at WNY, like guys would be like, oh, I'll take that fight. And then like I would go and show them tape and be like, this is what we got to do to win the fight. And they're like, maybe I don't want to fight this guy.
Yeah.
Like it happens.
This should be like the other way around. Watch the tape and then decide.
Yeah, guys are not all fighters are the same. Not all coaching staffs are the same.
I do feel like K4 does, like, because you could tell when you watch like a card of amateurs, there's usually like, I'm not talking K4 either because I'm complimenting K4. The other ones though, you see probably 4 or 5 fights where you're like, that guy should not have been in the cage with that guy.
Yeah.
Like that could have been, you know what I mean? In K4, you could tell the 2 guys that want to fight just to, maybe bucket list it or whatever. That guy's not going up against the fucking Cam Johnson. Do you know what I mean? So you have in K4, you have the guys that are the bucket list guys, 2-1, 2-2, 0-3, fighting 0-2, whatever. And then you have the guys, you can tell the difference in the fights. You know what I mean? You can tell like these guys are maybe really going somewhere. These guys are amateurs, want to be amateurs.
I think Keith does a really good job matching them up, and Eric Gillette does a really good job matching them up too. I've only seen one mismatch in the whole time that I've been calling K4, and the guy was from Jackson Wink, and the guy was terrible. He must not really train at Jackson Wink.
Yeah, I remember. I watched that fight, and
Yeah.
I think you said that. You said, I don't think he actually trains.
Yeah, it's hard. Like I try and be super polite on the mic, but sometimes like, you just gotta call the truth. I got one question. This is not officially announced yet, but isn't Cam matched? Isn't he matched with someone else?
Yeah. I think, I heard he was.
As long as the other person said yes.
Yeah, I have the official card, and I have him on there. I don't want to say who it is because the poster's not out yet, but I'm pretty sure he's matched on the card right now against a different guy, obviously.
Nice.
Yeah. Cam would fight Godzilla.
Yeah. I can't wait to see him fight, man. I'm excited. I was so excited. I thought the original matchup was so good, and I was so pumped writing that right up. I thought that was going to be fight of the night, and I think this other fight's going to be good, but I don't think it'll be fight of the night.
Yeah, once Cam figures you out, it doesn't matter who you are. This isn't just his opponent. It's me.
Yeah.
It's Nick Walker. And Cam's 130. Once he figures you out, you're fucked. You're just cooked. He's got you. He's got that, you know what I mean? That fighter's brain. He's like, oh, you get that smile and you're like, oh shit, he got me.
And like his conditioning, like he maintains like the standard quo of camp all the time. He doesn't like vary it. Like
Caveman, I can't even.
Always working his conditioning. He's always on the bag.
He's disgusting. His condition. Like you watched the fights last night with Marab.
Yeah,
that's Cam. Cam don't get tired, and if he does get tired, you don't know because I've never seen him tired.
What do you think Marab does, Rodney? Marab has like some kind of special conditioning, like to break down like Dagestani guys.
No, I 100% did not watch that fight, so I don't even know that guy.
I gotta think,
like I literally I spend so much time like knowing our guys and what we're doing that like UFC. I'll watch it. Like I watched that one. You know where I was impressed, that boxing match, the Tyson Fury that he fought.
Yeah,
his condition was unreal. What's his name? In the Tyson Fury. Fight? Yeah, the guy from Ukraine.
Yeah, Usyk.
Yeah.
Like. My goodness, like being that big and be able to throw that many punches for that long at that size, like for 12 rounds is insane.
Yeah. Rob went 25 minutes to just wrestle fuck the guy after getting beat up in the first two, and like, dude, he's just something different. And he had staph on his leg. He didn't train for a month leading into the fight, and like he was a huge underdog, and like he just
I do think some people are built with a different set of lungs, but I also feel like, and I'm not a scientist or a personal trainer, but I also feel like everyone could reach a maximum, like lung capacity conditioning, and then past that, it's like as corny as it sounds, it's just like who wants this shit more? And like
yeah.
Marab, like you hear him talk after, and it's like not even an option in his head to get tired. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
even. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't even like we have that option in our brain, and like we can tell each other like, or we can tell ourselves turn that off. Like he's actually permanently turned it off. Like that's my take on it. Like he's got that lungs, but he also truly believes from his core like you're not gonna make me tired because I'm not gonna get tired, and like there's no belief of ever even getting tired.
So here's my question: how much of that is actually the conditioning, and how much is that the mindset?
Yeah.
Shit, that's mindset conditioning right there.
Like it's mindset, like it's conditioning over like vast periods of time, right? Like you train yourself like a dog.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to fight that guy. I would like to see an Empire guy fight that guy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll fight him in like a conditioning workout, but I'm not fighting him.
He's a savage. Let's run through the rest of the card. The guys that got in the card. Isaac lost his guy. They're looking for a replacement right now. Why does no one want to fight Isaac?
I mean, go ahead. You spar him.
Yeah, he's just good. He's just like it sounds. I mean, they're all my teammates. They're all good, but he doesn't move like a heavyweight, and like you could tell he's light sparring you because he's a heavyweight, and he'll tap you. But it's so fast, and he does these like little taekwondo style kicks, and it's like, yo, I hate you for that shit. And I don't do jujitsu, or I don't do a lot of the sambo, but from all the other guys that do, they say he's just as good, if not better, in that field than he is in the striking. And I'm like, I don't even want to mess with him in that. So he's just very like everyone. This I'll make it quick, but like you said, at Empire, everyone's got their own individual thing, and then but it's not like the cookie cutter. I think it's because the coaches kind of let us have our own little swag, our own little style. As long as we can stay in the road, you can kind of drive whatever car you want to drive. As long as you stay in the road, you know what I mean? And we have a general, Isaac's a big ass truck, you know what I mean? And I'm a little baby blue Prius, just you know what I mean. But we could both fit on the road, and we both, you know what I mean. And yeah, so that's why I think all of us have the success. But I think Isaac stands out because he's able to just be so big but so little and so quick at the same time.
Right. Then you got Nick Walker, 170-pound Muay Thai fight. He's taking on Victor Alonso from Performance Combat. You probably know a little bit about that fight too. What about Nick Walker? Tell me about Nick Walker. I know a lot about him, but like let's talk.
I would first say like Nick Walker's mindset is on point. Like he does not struggle with belief at all. Like he knows what he wants. He knows how to work for it, and like he is dead focused on getting that. And no one will tell him he's not. Like he's gonna get it.
Yeah, and same thing. I mean, Nick Walker is Nick Walker. You get hard work. You know what? He knows what works, and he doesn't veer from what works. And if it doesn't work, he has a bag deep full of tricks to find something that will work.
In like the middle of workouts, sometimes like we'll be like heated and people are riding the bike, and like Nick Walker gets excited and he'll start screaming, "Hard work ain't nothing new."
Yeah,
eating that loud, but it motivates the fuck out of everybody, right? You start hearing like one of our top guys like pushing you, like it makes you go, it makes everybody go, everybody gets better. So it's cool.
Nice. Then we got Cameron Johnson against the soon-to-be named opponent. We won't talk about that one, but we already talked about Cameron a little bit. We don't need to really talk about that fight. I think Nick Walker's gonna do very well in that fight. I think he's gonna be well at range, and I think that fight's gonna come down to clinch, just like I wrote in the write-up. I'm excited to see that one. Then we have Isaiah Price is taking on Ben Batista. I haven't looked up Ben Batista yet. I know how good Isaiah Price is. Tell me about that fight a little bit.
I don't think you do know how good Isaiah, because if you think that last fight was his like good, like that wasn't even, that was like 20% of Isaiah Price.
Yeah.
because that fight was like we were like, whoa, like Isaiah got touched up way more than normal. That kid, the kid he fought, he's a vet. He's he's tough. The kid's good. You know what I mean? Isaiah fought a very seasoned kid. The
Yeah,
kid's
Ahmad
young,
is super tough, man.
super
Super
tough,
tough.
and he's not scared. You know what I mean? But
No, not at all.
Isaiah, yeah, you guys have seen 20% of Isaiah. He's fun.
I was really impressed because I seen Ahmad look way better than he looked in that fight too. Like those two guys battling out, like I thought they brought out the best. So man, Price going through that like split leg, dude, like that was super impressive to me. Like
Good head cut too.
yeah, he's like cut up and he's like, whatever, dude, you just kept fighting. Like, yeah, man, that was super impressive to me, man. I got a lot more respect for him because I knew he was a super athlete. I knew he was a good fighter, but like his toughness is just like he didn't even care, dude. It was like nothing. It was awesome to me.
His hands are just fun to watch. You just watch his hands, like where are they going next?
Dude, I'm telling you that Ahmad kid he fought is like way better than his record indicates. Like he's
Oh my God. Yeah, that was like our coach Chris said the same thing. He was like, normally, like a record like this we wouldn't, but like the kid's good. You know what I mean? And that's why they made everyone was cool with the matchup, and it was a good fight.
Yeah, it was a good fight. I was like, I really thought you guys might come in and underestimate Ahmad, but like that was a great fight for both those guys. Price looked really good. I was super impressed by him, honestly.
Yeah.
How's his conditioning in the room, Rodney?
I mean, he's a bee. He's a work bee. Like I would love like personally to like put some weight on him, but like he can work his cardio is for days. Like and yeah, he's a tough. His mental game is tough, and you know what I like about Isaiah is like he like anytime I ask him like, hey, let's work on this, let's fix that. Like he's so receptive to doing that. He's like thankful. He's like, yeah, good. Like I will. And he's like, and then he does it, and then you see him get that tad bit better, and you're like, holy shit, he's getting better. And like he's progressing. Like it's all of these guys. It's like I don't know where they're at. Like I don't know where their stories end, but like there's a lot of guys at our gym right now that like they're in the driver's seat of their stories, right? And it's fun to be a part of that for sure.
Then we got Garrett Hughes versus Alex Martel. This is one of the fights I'm really looking forward to. Garrett Hughes is just a goddamn savage, man, and like he just keeps winning and winning in K4. But that Alex Martel dude is so long. I'm so interested to see how that fight plays out in the cage. I'm very interested to see like Garrett's done very well against tall opponents, but Alex kind of got almost like a more of a karate style and lots of volume. So I'm super interested to see how that one plays out too.
Yeah, I mean, I think Garrett's prep for anyone, and like I said before too, like I think everyone that's matched up on the card, like all our opponents are good opponents. I don't think anyone has any. I don't think there's a single fight that's matched up that's an easy fight for anybody. You know what I mean? Not Empire, anybody. But yeah, I mean, it's
a certain mindset too. Like I don't see him losing to a lot of it. Like I mean, just like what he can do, he could just leg kick you to death. Like I just watch him sometimes playing with leg kicks with people, and they can't do anything, and they're using their whole body, and he's just like kicking their leg. That's all he's doing, and it's like wow, like.
I honestly think the winner of this fight should get a title fight next. I want to see Garrett get this title fight really bad, and Alex already had a title fight, and he lost the title fight. Alex fights out of WNY MMA right now. He was out of San Lao for a little bit, and he moved over to WNY. So he recently changed over to WNY. So he's got a new set of training people. He's got Felipe Silva over there, big training guys. Todd Banks, like all the main weapons that WNY has over there. Derek Patterson. So he's got some good striking with him now. Like we'll see, man. I'm super excited for this one. It's one of the fights that's kind of like buried in the card that is super good. I'm super excited to see that. I really think this is a title contender fight, and I'm super excited. I did a write up, and like when I write the write up, sometimes it's bullshit, but this one was like a really true one, and I'm super excited to see this fight.
Yeah, I mean, Garrett's he's locked in, but I mean, as a fight fan, separate from someone fighting on the card, I'm excited for that fight too. Just that Martel dude fought the Harrison guy, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, just from a fight, it just looked like he kind of just left his chin open and let the dude kind of just whip an overhand. You know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
dude connects on anyone, and he's got some
Yeah,
power
he
to
he
him.
put it on him for like 2 rounds, and then like he gassed out a little bit, and then like that dude is so big. He just walked through everything, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, and
it's so crazy.
I think that's where Garrett kind of maybe is. I mean, Harrison, different weight class, different power, but
Mhm.
Garrett can apply that pressure for all 6 minutes. You know what I mean? And he's not
Yeah,
going to gas or waver. And he might not hit as hard as that Harrison dude, but if you're hitting someone 70% that hard, but the entire time, it probably feels the same.
yeah. That Harrison dude's scary too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. And he did like the little knockoff Alex Pereira, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I should be scared or laugh. I don't know what's going on right now.
You laugh when you're outside the cage, but you're
Yeah,
scared when
no.
you're inside.
I mean, shit. If I saw him, I probably wouldn't say none. But
I think it's like it looks a little ridiculous outside, but when you're inside, it's probably scary, dude. Like,
yeah,
it's always like that. Then we got Dustin. I don't know how to say his last name though.
Nago.
NGO in
Nago.
go.
Nago,
Nago.
Nago.
Dustin to go versus Hunter Kingsbury. Fifth round fitness is super good. I seen Hunter fight a little bit. I had never seen Dustin fight at all, so I don't know too much about these two guys. Tell me a little bit about Dustin.
This is his
That-
debut. Yeah, it's his debut. So
Yeah,
Well,
he's
don't
been
tell me
there.
too much then.
Yeah,
But tell
no,
me enough that we know about the fight.
he's been there. He's been there. He's been training with me for. I mean, he started maybe like 6 months after me, so he's probably been there 2.5 years. And he's just. I think he in the beginning he kind of did jujitsu and Muay Thai pretty much evenly, and then kind of like most guys kind of. I don't want to say pick one, but like kind of find a crowd, and he kind of veered towards the striking and kind of was like, oh shit, I have the skills, and then was like, oh my god, I can do it, and then now he's here. So I think he's obviously ready. Empire coaches don't put nobody in the cage that's not beyond prepared to defend and attack at all times. So, but yeah, Dustin, I'm
yeah,
excited for Dustin
he
too.
came into camp very in shape. Like he definitely has. Like he has a workout regimen on his own that he like goes to the gym and he's ripped. So his conditioning is like he can go for a long time. Yeah, and he can lift a lot. He's really strong. You have to like sometimes in camp, like we were like lifting the other day and like he wanted to keep going and I was like, dude, you can't. You're like, I can't. Like there's like I'm not gonna let someone like 3 weeks away from a fight start like peaking a deadlift. I'm like, Dustin, no, we're gonna stop here and we're gonna go. But he's like got that hunger in him, right? Like he wants to he's a tiger for sure.
So this is another one to keep your eye on too. I know Hunter's got some good boxing. I don't know too much about him besides for that. I didn't see too much, but I'm excited. I'm excited for that one too, man. I love to see the Empire guys. You always come in with like it's so cool because everyone's got like such a different style. You never really know what you're gonna get. So I like to ask about the guys because like you don't know what kind of style he is, and then you guys are doing pretty good, pretty cagey answers, so you don't really know. I like it a lot. That's some good coaching we got going on here in the corner too. Yeah. Then Aaron Buckley versus David Lee. We talked about that fight quite a bit. Aaron is going to make his Muay Thai debut. That's why I asked him about the clinch, but we already talked about all that. That was going to be my question for you, but we already did that one. And then we have James Clark versus Troy Ferris in the grappling exhibition. How's James Clark's cardio?
I can tell you, like when I get the opportunity to get a grappler in camp, it's fun. And James is a dog. He's an old wrestler, so he's got that like just blue collar grind. I'm gonna work and work and work and work as hard as I can until the job is done type of kind of attitude. It's fun getting a grappler so I can like play with different things the way we do things at the gym and like make sure his like his clinching is working certain things that I don't get to do necessarily with the kickboxers. So that's been fun, and it's fun throwing him with the kickboxers too, like getting James in there because he's like he's kind of like like he's just the character that like just like gets you fired up. You see him go and you're like, fuck, James is moving fast, like I better go. Like so yeah, I couldn't tell you like as far as like other than that, that's all I know. Like as far as jiu-jitsu, I'm kind of blind as far as
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what kind of stuff he's taking on a pretty good wrestler in Troy Ferris, very good top game, decent passing, good submissions, good back attacks. So I'm excited to see that one. Troy beat one of my guys, Elfrey. Like he's a bottom player. He like had him in guard and attacked him, almost got him quite a few times, and then I gave up his back and then he got choked out, But I'm excited to see him. He's also my guy's on this card as well. But Troy Ferris and a wrestler and James Clark. It sounds like a good matchup, man.
Yeah, and the Lions just lost, so I don't want to mess with James right now. He's a diehard.
No!
So, yeah,
Lions fan.
Yeah, he diehard Lions fan. So I'm glad I don't gotta grapple with him. Do some wrestling with him next weekend, 2 weekends.
Oh man, go Bills! Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Bills one more time. Ray wants to know if you have some Magic Hippie compress for his ulnar nerve. Ray's been having some trouble with his ulnar nerve. He's having a hard time sleeping and stuff.
Ulnar?
Yeah, what is it? I don't even know what that is, Ray. Ray, what's the ulnar nerve?
That's like your funny bone part.
Bring out that skeleton behind you.
Yeah, I got the nervous system somewhere around here.
Yeah, it's the one that runs. It's like your funny bone.
Your shoulder?
It's like runs from your elbow to your shoulder.
Okay. Well,
sounds like you don't have a Magic Hippie compress though.
Like you gotta like think about like what are positions I'm being in? What are some of the positions I've spend time in, right? And how are those positions contributing to, the pain I'm having? Like, if you sit for a living at a desk, right, and you're having that kind of pain, maybe like it's because of the positions you're in. Because it's a lot of times it's not even the freaking gym; it's your job. Like, you got to stand all day for your job. Like maybe I lean my hip to one side. What happens after 10 years? You've been leaning that hip, standing, like shit changes and moves. So, I don't know, Ray. I wish my wizard powers are not that strong yet. But
switch hands.
Put down the Whopper. Stop using the mayonnaise for lube, and we'll be good to go. Dennis says, "My boy gonna dominate." I don't know which boy he was actually talking about when he made the comment, but
it better be me.
Yeah. Why is Dennis not on this card?
They said they got to match them up. They said they got somebody from in March.
Awesome. Dennis, looks like there's openings on this card. You should send in your name every day like you did last time. Maybe we can get you on this fucking card, man. I love Opal Latissimo. He's my dude. Even though his name's hard to say, I still like to call his fights.
We're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. There's gonna be a lot of people here. I'm very excited for this.
I get a question, Jeff.
Go ahead.
So like with the jiu-jitsu, like you have you done a super fight before?
Yes.
So like that versus like going to tournaments, like how is that differ, like as far as psyche and going into it, and like how does that change things?
Actually it makes it easier because in the tournament you're gonna do more matches with the same time limit. So like you can go in, exactly who you're fighting, so you can go in with like a better game plan. In the tournament, you usually know your first round and who you're gonna get your second round, but like it's really hard. You got a game plan for the whole bracket, not just one guy. Going into the super fight, it's a pretty set rule set. You go in, it's a lot easier. The only thing that's different is instead of being on, a mat with like 15 guys competing all up and down rows, you're the only one competing. So you go out, it's a lot different pop when you walk out. And most of the time, super fights at these shows are in a cage, and you're not used to competing against the cage. So now you have to go and you're competing against the cage. When you have MMA gloves on, when you have boxing gloves on, you rub around the cage. Nothing hurts your fingers. You're trying to get a takedown on the cage with your fingers. Your fingers get caught in there. Like it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that can happen in a cage match that's different than a regular grappling match. So it's a lot more exciting. And usually you have to get submission to win. There's no points. So it's a little bit more open, and the guys don't stall as much because like you have to get a submission.
You have to attack, right?
Yeah, you can't just I got an advantage, I won. It's not like typical jiu-jitsu, you get a couple points and the guys stall out, but you don't see that as much in super fights.
And how much do you think like nerves and anxiety plays a role in that cage? Do you think
A
that like
lot, because now this is the first time where you come out where it's not just, you go out, there's not, unless you're like the finals of like a huge tournament, like a world tournament, there's not like a lot of people watching you, you got like, no one goes to jiu-jitsu
everybody?
really, It's like your whole team, that's it, it's not like your family and your friends and stuff. But now you're going out, now you got like, 1,000 people watching you. It's a lot different. And you're the only one competing, and everyone's waiting for you. And they're like, boo, punch him, kick him. Like there's a whole different crowd in MMA too. Like people don't respect it as much. So like it's different. It's a lot different. It's a lot different psychologically.
I was talking to James about it too, and he said that he liked it more because he can game plan and
Yeah.
he knows that it's a certain amount, so he can go harder because he knows at the end that there's not going to be another one.
Yeah. Like in a jiu-jitsu tournament, if you got like 16, 20 guys in your bracket, you got 8 to 10 matches. Like you have to save a little bit too. Like you have to conserve your energy going. I mean, you obviously have to win, but you sometimes you don't. You get up by two. You're like, all right, I'm gonna stall it out because I got
Right.
fucking 6 more matches to go. I need to have grips. I need to be able to do stuff. I can't be burned out. I have to do energy conservation as well as win the match. So, and usually terms are seeded. So like you'll get the worst guy first, so you know that you can coast a little bit. But it's way better. I think super fights are way better, way more exciting, way more fun. Makes you nervous because normally when I grapple, I don't get nervous at all. It's just grappling. Who cares? But when you do it in the cage and everyone's watching, like motherfucker, I'm not gonna lose. This is like a fight almost. So this is different.
I was pissed. My last fight, there was a super fight before my fight, and the kid submitted the kid in like 24 seconds or some shit. And I was like, they were like, all right, you're up. And I'm like, no, I'm not. They just walked out. And he was like, yeah, it's done. I'm like, whoa, what do you mean? He was like, yeah, I choked him out already. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And then it was
Yeah,
just done. But that's part of it too. It could be
yeah.
done that fast.
It can be like that and kickboxing though too. If you're the second fight, man, the first fight could be like 2 seconds because usually the first fight of kickboxing card is someone that's terrible, so they might not even know how to get punched. Like
Right.
it's always crazy when you fight on like amateur cards and you're the second fight. It's probably the worst spot to be in because you never know what the prep is.
I fought my first fight. I was the second fight. I loved
Yeah,
it. I was like,
yeah.
let's do it. I'll set the tone and everyone could go after that.
I like being first or last. That's been a long time since it wasn't like last or co-main, but
Right.
like I like being first and I like being last. I like, man, like all the rest sucks.
How does like that like play it like when you're last, like that prepping in the back and getting warm to a point where you feel great to compete? Like I think about the prep, the conditioning, like how do you
Yeah.
get yourself ready so you're feeling your best
One
out
second.
there? And like when you're going last waiting, like did you have a specific process that you would like at this point, this is what I'll start doing XYZ or like
I would just like I get a good blow up in the morning, because you made weight, so you want to blow your body back up after you refuel and rehydrate. I eat about like normally if I'm gonna be first or in the start of the card, I wouldn't eat right away. I'd eat like noon, and I wouldn't eat again, but I'll eat like 4 or 5 o'clock right before I go in. I'll eat right before I go in because I know I got plenty of time to digest. I'll nap in the back until the intermission or halfway, and then I'll get up and I'll start my warm up at halfway, and like I just tune everything out. Even if I've got teammates on the card, I don't care. Just put earbuds in, lay down, put something over my head, and just relax until it's time to go. And then otherwise, you're walking around, you're just burning energy. Like you're gonna get warmed up, cool down, warmed up, cool down, stretch out after that, and then I get warmed up, and by the time the fight comes, I'm ready to go.
nice.
You an
Yeah.
intense guy when you were warming up? Were you intense?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, I
Like,
see. It's
that's
so
why
fun.
I can't start the warm up too early, or I'll like, you wear a little bit out. Like I get good hard blow ups, sprints and then like real hard grappling rounds, real hard mitt rounds. I want to be like going into my second win when I go out there. I don't want to be like just breaking sweat. I want to be like I already like went through a workout.
Yeah, I actually think that was one of the hardest things about fighting was finding which wave you wanted to fight in. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah,
don't want to go out there fresh because then you're gonna hit that wall and you're gonna be like, I need to find my second wind. So you want to find that perfect warm up. You know what I mean? And I thought that was the hardest thing to find. You know what I mean? And while back.
It's finding that moment right before your second wind.
Yep.
I want to go out. Like my goal before I walked into because you go into the hole first, you have the walkout.
Yeah.
I want to be so tired before I go into walkout. I'm like out of breath recovering as I'm walking out. And then by the time I get out to fight, I'm completely recovered. Feel like I'm coming out for the second round and I'm good to go, man. Like,
right.
Because sometimes you're waiting down there 15, 20. Sometimes you got to warm up a little bit again down there. Like if your sweat starts to break. But normally, you're in and out because usually by the time you walk down. What's that?
Have you ever been so tired within a fight, like that you couldn't do the things you were trained to do? Like, has that happened to you where you got stuck? You're like, shit, I'm not conditioned enough for this.
Only that happened to me once and never happened to me again. I didn't train enough, and I'm like, that's never gonna happen to me again.
That's all it'll take.
Yeah, that's my. What was it? I think my fourth amateur fight. I was completely gassed in the second round, and I was done. And after that, I never got tired. Tired where you get tired, but not so tired where you couldn't enact what you want to do. I mean, you lose, but it's not because you're tired. You just sometimes you're just not the best fighter. Conditioning is so important.
It's like you can have like a kind of a mediocre fighter with like excellent conditioning versus like an excellent skilled fighter with shitty conditioning. Like I'll take that medium skilled fighter every day.
Yeah, dude. I won so many fights I shouldn't win just because I was in better shape, and I knew that too. I'm not a naturally gifted athlete, so I know I better be fucking tough as shit, and I better be in shape. It's very clear. Once you start training with good people, I'm not as good as I thought I was, so I better figure something else out.
You find kind of a silly way to lose too. Like you lose because you're tired.
Yeah.
Right. Like you should lose because they had better skills than you. They outskilled you. They chess maneuvered you. Like not because you couldn't breathe.
Yeah. When you get so tired and your arms are so heavy, you're like, man, I just hope he hits me instead of blocking this. You didn't condition right.
Yeah.
You should feel that in practice, not in the fight.
I'm like, when is this class over?
Yeah, in a fight that doesn't end until one of you guys leaves, so that's not good. You don't want to feel that there.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, go Bills.
Yeah, go Bills. You got anything you want to say, Aaron? Anything you want to plug? Anything, besides the fight? One more time, you can get the tickets. Just go online. Go to K4 when you buy the tickets. Go to promo code, type in Team Empire so they get credit for the ticket sales. And off to you, Aaron. Make your plugs.
Only plugs really are just Wandering Soul, Rodney, my strength and conditioning coach. Nick Walker always plugs me, so Livy's Jamaican restaurant.
Check it out before the fight. We're going to Livy's. Come check it out.
I'll be eating there after. I'll be eating there after. I'm after the fight. That's where I'll be there.
Are they still going to be open after? Are they going to stay open or something?
Oh, I'm saying the next day, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Before the fight, you might be smelling me if I eat it before the fight.
My Buffalo people, come on out. If you're coming up to the fights and you're from Buffalo, come on out. We're gonna go to Livy's. Let's do it.
Yes, you guys gotta hit up Livy's. And then my last two plugs are my girl, my mom, and then my barbershop. That's about it.
I love it, man. How about you, Rodney? What you got? So leave us with some words of wisdom too.
Yeah, I gotta plug my ladies' hair salon, the Nitty Gritty Hair and Waxing Salon. If you have hair, they go there. Just in case, if after you're done at Nick Walker's, you want to get your armpits waxed, just give them a call. I think just my wisdom is letting everybody know you're the fucking author of your story, right? Stop letting other people write your story for you, and you write your story and write it the way you fucking want it, not the way other people want it for you, right? Be authentic to your heart, look inside, and then start planning that life, right? That the way you want it.
Awesome, man. And for you guys that don't know, Aaron's got some good art on him. So when we see him come out, we're gonna see some art too. You can see on his hands. Oh yeah, there we go. Man, I can't wait to see. I'm glad your boy Rodney talked you up. He said you'd be a great guest to have on the podcast. I'm glad you got on here. You guys gotta help me. We gotta get Garrett on here.
I'll see Garrett tomorrow. I'm gonna just put the bug in his ear.
Tell him he's gotta get his shit on here, man. We gotta get him.
What are you doing?
I feel like I feel like a lot of guys get nervous, but it's just talking. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
it's just it's easy. It's free promotion for yourself as a human being too. So
Could we
Yeah,
just
I'm
bring the
like,
podcast to Texas Roadhouse?
I'm like the easiest guy to talk to too. Like I don't care. Like whatever. Like you can't sound worse than me. Jesus Christ. Like I'm a caveman. I do a podcast. It's not that hard to talk with me.
nah,
Like you sound really smart, dude.
it's a good one.
That's fine.
I do. Let me
Thank you so much
say
for that.
one. Let me say one thing real quick, just for any like young fighters, aspiring fighters. If you're gonna join a gym and you want to fight, you want to do it. Do a little research. Join a good gym that you trust, and just trust them. If you're going to Caveman's gym, you go to Empire, you go to WNY. There's a reason they're open. There's a reason they've been open for a long time. Just trust the process and don't do it your own way, because we did not become pro fighters ourselves. I thought I was a good fighter till I put on a pair of gloves and I realized I was not a fighter at all. So as it's becoming more popular in the world, just do your research, be respectful of one another, human beings, and everyone can get nasty at martial arts. Everybody.
Just realize your coaches are really important too. I would say this as a gym owner and a coach. Like when I go to the to fights and I see coaches that don't know the rules and they're like, "Oh, that's a rule now." They're not up to date on the rules. They don't know how to wrap hands. They don't have tape. They don't know what they need. Like if your coach is like that, you probably don't want them as your coach. There's some really bad coaches out there too. Um, it's pretty evident when you go to the fights. Maybe not at K4, but you go to a lot of fights and you see the teams, and some of the teams are not so good. Just I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus. Just make sure your coaches are good, and it's really important. You
It
want
is.
someone that's leading you.
It is, and
Um,
your health and your brain depends on the people. You know, you're putting your health and your brain in the hands of your coaches. You know what I mean? Like, I spar twice a week, so if there was no law, who knows if I would have CT in 5 years, 10 years? You know what I mean? But I know if anything were to ever get crazy, my coach would step in and be like, "Hey, you got a kid at home and a business. Is your brain worth it right now for a little bit of excitement on a Monday afternoon?" You know what I mean? So I think that finding the perfect gym for what you're looking for whoever's listening to this podcast or might see this little clip bit, finding the gym that, you know, it might not be cool to not spar for 7 months, but guess what? I can still have a very good conversation right now with everybody. I'm a very good fighter. I'm a very good father. And I have my brain and my health with me because I had coaches that looked out for me when I wanted to spar guys like Liam my first month in. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm like, yeah, you know, like, give me a shot, coach. You know what I mean? Like, and most general men in the world, they don't understand what would really happen. So if you want to get into it and you actually want to become good at it, do a little research, and it can really change your life forever for the better.
Yeah, and it can ruin your life too, man. You can get some bad coaching and start with a terrible record, and it's hard to come back from, or you can get hurt, or you can just leave the sport. Like, see a lot of guys that have promising careers start with a bad coach, like great talent. Like you can obviously tell they have good talent because their coaches suck, and they come out, they can still win, and coaches trying to hang on to those guys, and then like bad things happen, man. This is not like there's no one I'm generally talking about. I just see it happen. And usually those gyms start, they open, they close, they open, they close. You know, it's like a couple of the same guys just run around, run the gyms. But just make sure you go to the right gym. And if there's not a big tradition of fighting, maybe you shouldn't be fighting there. Maybe you should just go there and train. Fight gyms are fight gyms for a reason, and non-fight gyms are non-fight gyms for a reason too. So
And
if
it's
you're,
cool just to train. It is
yeah,
cool
dude,
just to
it's
train.
cool just to train.
Yeah, and
Man.
I would say like Empire again. That's my only reference, but like the reason we can have fighters is our regular members, right? Like so they're just as important to us as our fighters, and we train them just as hard, just the same way, you know, because like we realize that like if you're trying to support a gym on just fighters, it's hard, right? Like you have to have like general population. We have to be able to teach this stuff to all kinds of people, all different types of skill sets. Like so you don't have to be like this amazing athlete to come into our academy to start to learn how to like the basics of fighting, right? Like that stuff happens. You get better with reps. So
For sure. And like general members are super important. And they're even more worked on fighters because like you have to keep them safe too. They have to be able to go do their job and they don't want to suck. They want to be better too. They want to be able to roll with the fighters. and they gotta have the ability to roll with the fighters and not get hurt. So it takes more. What's up? I know what's going on, Bill. It's good to hear from you guys. Primo's doing well. He's at South Towns MMA. We're still all training. And come on back to Buffalo and stop in at the gym, man. I miss Bill. I haven't seen him since he was young and in shape. I've seen some pictures. Looks like he used the gym a little bit. He should stay away from Ray's Whoppers. Just kidding, Bill. All right, guys. That's about all we got. I got one more thing here. I see Rodney and Rigo don't compete into absolute beasts.
Yeah, it's reps, man. Just listen.
Yeah.
They can listen and they can be coached, right? Like it's always an issue. Like, can they be coached? Are they coachable? The ones, and that's where we see like people with egos and stuff not do well with us because they just think they may know it better. And like the ones like Aaron's saying, like that trust us and like I understand you're trusting me, and I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna cherish that. Like, so I'm gonna make sure I'm giving everything I can, and like this relationship. It's super important.
I love that a lot, man. And you guys got a great gym. If you're in Rochester, train at Empire. If you're in North Tonawanda, come train at Integrity, because we're just as good. Well, not as good as Empire, but we're gonna be as good as Empire someday when we're big. And we got Rodney, and we got a whole coaching staff, and it's not just me. We're gonna grow. We're gonna get bigger. It's a lot of work to just be me, man. Go. Like regular. One more last thing. So like regular hobbyists, like the only difference between like I consider like a hobbyist and a fighter is the damage that they take. Because a hobbyist not going to compete, they don't need to do all the conditioning. They don't need to do all the stuff. They just need to come and train. Like being a fighter is different because you need to train. You need to put your body through all that stuff. It's nothing to do with skill development. The skill development is the same. Just the physical abuse you're going to take because you're going to fight another person that's doing the same thing you are. So like you need to train extra hard. It's not just skill building. So there's nothing wrong with being a hobbyist. It's not. And so it's probably smarter to be a hobbyist. Like being a fighter is not so good for your body. Being a hobbyist, a lot better for your body. You get skills and you don't get damage. Hopefully you don't get damage. I mean, it's a dangerous sport. You can always get hurt. Fighters, you're going to get hurt. Like that's just part of it. Like you're going to be hurt all the time. Your hand's going to hurt. Your elbow's going to hurt. Your knee's going to hurt. You're going to get banged up because you're sparring hard. And that's the only difference, really.
Always cracks me up. The doctor's like, any pains, Aaron? Nope. All good, doc. Thanks.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how many people like that don't train and they're out of shape. They have more pain than we do, dude. Even though
I know they don't work out and they're in pain.
Yeah. As an older lady, I get that shit. I'm so roll for next to find the right partners. You could definitely do it. Don't roll with Bill. Bill's a savage, dog. He's not very gentle. He never was gentle. That's why we're always popping each other's knees up in my attic. Anyways, that's all we got for today. Check it out. Remember, when you buy your tickets, put in Team Empire in the promo code. Get these guys some money. If you need any personal training and you are not a fighter that doesn't fight for Empire, you can check out Rodney. Rodney doesn't train fighters from other gyms, but he will train average people from anywhere. So see Rodney, get real hooked up, and come check out Aaron. Come support these guys. K4 RIT Conference Center. We're going to be there February 1st.
Yes,
and
we are.
Team Empire is going every third round. So
every single one.
All right. We're out, guys.
Thanks, Caveman.